Hey you guys, it's Chloe, and we're talking about warm-ups. My case study is the College Age Sprint Squad. So we're going to go over this program, but first I want to talk about the warm-up and why it's important. I just did my own workout too, and I really tried hard to do a little bit more dynamic stretching, and then also work on my raising my heart rate too, because it's going to help with your range of motion, contracting the muscles through their full range of motion, and then also the oxygen delivery to the muscle groups, and it's really going to help with that better metabolic response that we're looking for to get a better workout. It's going to help decrease the risk of injury as well. Sorry, this light is super bright. All right, I'm going to try not to blind you guys. So with the sprinting squad, we're really going to want to focus on raising the heart rate. So I'd have them do either laps around the gym, we could do jumping jacks, or even mountain climbers, anything that we can really get that heart rate up. And then we're going to start our dynamic stretching, so really going through the movements and stretching the muscle groups as well. We could do body weight single leg deadlift, plank to rotation, body weight squats to hamstring stretch, multi-planar lunges. I love those ones. Arm circles, overhead movements, lateral hops, that kind of a thing. And that's going to help mobilize the muscles, activate the muscles, mobilize the joints, kind of coincide. And then the last one is going to be potentiate, so ramp, right? Raise, activate, mobilize, potentiate. Potentiate is really going to be important, especially for the higher intensity exercises such as sprinting, because we really want to get those fast twitch muscle fibers ready for the intensity so that we don't pull anything, we don't strain any muscle groups. I've noticed this especially with my soccer games. When I used to play soccer, if I didn't do those wind sprints, if I didn't do the jog into the wind sprints, that when I would start to do that movement and then the stopping and the pivoting, I would really risk injury that way. And I actually pulled a lot of muscles that way, just not potentiating my muscles as much as I should have. So the first part of the warm-up, of course, we want to make sure that we're doing that, raising the heart rate 2 to 3 minutes. 5 minutes really, you get into that aerobic zone there, into the conditioning phase. Dynamic stretch, hip mobility stuff. I really like that those types of stretches. They feel really good. And then, of course, we're going to do mobilizing, especially if we have any kind of shoulder injury. We want to make sure our range of motion is good. And then we want to do our potentiation, and then we could go straight into the workout there. Now I want to go over this really quickly. What I would do differently for other case studies for the youth baseball team, I'd have them run laps around the baseball field, maybe a couple times there. For activate and mobilization, I would have them activate their hip flexors, their glutes, their hamstrings, their whole posterior chain. I'd want them to focus on upper body too. Maybe wood chops, the swinging motion, in conjunction with their glenohumeral joint. If they're a pitcher, I'd have them focus on really warming their rotator cuffs up especially. And then for potentiation, I'd have them do like a partner catch. So they would play catch with their partner, short distances, and then they could start to scoot back from each other, longer distances. I'd have them do some offensive drills, defensive, grounding drills, throwing to the bases, catching, fielding, stuff like that. For the high school swim team, I'd want to elevate their heart rate. They could do jumping jacks, air squats. They could even jump in the pool, but I really want to keep it more on land so they're not cold throughout the rest of the workout. Same sort of thing, I'd have them do side lunges for their activation, mobilization, forward lunge, hip flexor stretch, overhead air squats, shoulder raises, and then plank to rotation, toe taps, plank to pike ups. Really get that core involved, since that core is going to be really key on their strokes and then also their overhead movements. And want to activate their chest and back muscles. They could do inchworm to push up, light resistance band rows, especially if you're doing rehab, a little bit on the shoulders there. And then they could do their warm-up laps and even practice their stroke for the potentiation phase. I'd really want them to stay warm, especially when we are adding cold water or semi-cold water into the equation. Really try to stay warm. Same with soccer players. If you're outside in the cold weather, stay warm. All right, my next part is going to be the actual demonstration. So that's part 2.